what they did. So our cinematographer is basically a crew of one. And the orchestra was London Symphony Orchestra, actually. The composer, his name is Andrew Lockington, he's also a Canadian. He does a lot of kind of big budget Hollywood films, and he obviously didn't take much for this film, but called in every favor he has with the London Fellows. Thank you.
Over here?
I just wanted to comment and say how much I appreciated being able to read the subtitles so easily. I was surprised by the yellow. I don't think I've ever seen yellow before. And, oh gosh, you could just see it. You could read it. It wasn't frustrating at all. So thank you in this small way to make it a more enjoyable movie. Thank you.
You know, I will actually say you're welcome, because I did them myself. Usually it's a full collaboration, but this one, I chose the font, the italics, the color of the yellow, and I typed them out myself in time.
You have an illustrious career. What do you know right now you wish you knew when you started?
Once in a blue moon, somebody asked me something I've never heard before. That I've never heard. What I can't even, oh man. I will say that I won't finish a film anytime unless I am convinced it's the best I can do at the time.
Can you repeat?
Unless I'm convinced it's the best I could have done at the time. So I don't have any regrets. I might look back at my stuff and say, oh man, that's not very good. But I really take solace in knowing it was the best I could do at the time. And I will also say, in cinema studies and even in English class, when we studied Orson Welles, at some point, he'll come up, or he probably already has, and you watch Citizen Kane, and it's considered the greatest movie of all time, and I love the film. And there's a joke about Orson Welles, which is really tragic, because he died alone in a motel room, broke, and the tragic joke is he started from the top and worked his way down, which is, to me, a very painful way to go. And so I always say, well, if I'm going to do this until my end, I would like to start at the bottom and work my way up.
Well, I just have to say he's far from the bottom in his work. And I hope he does another film and can join us again. And let me turn it right back over to him. Yes. Well, I'll come right back to you, Ray. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll look there. On the subtitles, I saw in parentheses it said "touch your feet." Is that just an idiom, or what's the meaning there?
Oh yeah, when he's speaking to his father, there's a parenthesis of "touch your feet" because the character of Mahinder we made him Rajasthani. The actor who plays him, Rajesh, was Rajasthani, so we made him Rajasthani. And when he calls it again, this is something about the verisimilitude of the film. No matter how strange he is from his father, he says every time a Rajasthani speaks to their father, they say this word, Bhagelakna, which means, hello, father. It's the first thing you do. I mean, touching feet is an honorable thing to do. It's a thing of respect. And if you can't do it in person, you say a word which represents that sentiment. So it was something it was obviously the only parentheses you see in the film, but it was important for me to just get across that. Because even Hindi speakers wouldn't know what he's saying. The whole film is in Hindi. But once in a while, there's a different language. He speaks Punjabi at one point. He's told a Punjabi word, right and left, and he doesn't understand that. So the person says English, left. Because he doesn't speak
picking up English words.
He doesn't speak Punjabi. So in this situation, it's a Rajasthani word, he said. So even if you're a Hindi speaker and you understand everything in the film, you would not have understood that word, which is why I put that.
At the very end, at the credits, it said for Mahmoud Ali.
Oh, Rahimat Ali.
Who was that?
That's the real missing kid.
Oh, that's the real missing.
Yeah, the guy, Muhammad Ali, was the father I spoke to, was a rickshaw driver.
Okay.
And his son's name was Rahimat Ali.
Okay.
Back here?
Yes, I was wondering about the value of the children's education. It seems like in this family it would have been extremely valuable for the boy to continue his education, because you were saying the adult males might not be able to read and write at all. So I'm so surprised. Is this quite common then, that they're just letting young children go to work?
Yeah, well that's...
Save a little bit of money.
Now you're talking about long-term investment. and short-term gain. Now, this is the other thing that I wanted to explore in this film, and I just touched the surface of it, of a different way of thinking. This character thinks differently than all of us, and so their points of reference are very different. So when we say things that are logical, it doesn't register as logical necessarily to them, which is why the cop reprimands him. And that's the whole thing. I mean, when I showed the character of that police officer, what I tried to get across is this is like, oh man, you're making our lives so difficult to find your kid because you're not listening to what we're telling you. Send your kid to school. We pay for everything. So, and it's like an over and over and over again we tell you people. It is a completely different way of thinking and seeing the world, which is also, and there's little tastes of it. For example, the labor class in a place like Delhi, India, Pakistan, you name it, they never had landlines as phones. They went from nothing to cell phones, right? We have had phones for 100 years. So we're born and raised in a phone etiquette culture. And when you're a kid, you answer the phone, you say, hello, who is this? And in their situation, and I've seen this happen a million times, it happened to me where somebody calls me in India and I pick up and they say, who is this? I say, what do you mean, who is this? You call me. That's not how this works. And so I've seen it happen there all the time. And then I've seen it happen in an emergency. So in this situation, Mahindra needs a very specific piece of information, which may be life or death, and he knows that. And they argue over phone etiquette for the first 20 seconds. It's a different way of thinking. It doesn't even occur to him that that's not correct. So when we're talking about, what you're talking about is long-term investment, it doesn't occur to them that that may be the wisest thing to do.